I like money. I want to have heaps and heaps of money. And I also like sex, love having sex, want to have heaps of sex. I also love power. I want to have heaps of power. Why am I saying all of this? Well, watch this clip. You'll see why.
Oh, hey, so is confidence important?
Yeah, abso-fucking-lutely. Oh yeah, definitely.
Why?
If you're confident, like, you definitely make somebody's panties drop. Like, it's all about confidence, actually.
I think what makes a guy confident is if they are really proud of who they are and they stand up and walk around like, I am the shit, man.
Honestly, I think confidence is the sexiest attribute. Confidence is key.
Faking confidence is a terrible idea because women, they can smell a rat, and the high quality ones, when they sense that you're deceiving them, they will never date you. Women evolved to prioritize social interaction, which is why women are so much better at being duplicitous, at being lying, at faking enjoying somebody's company when they secretly inside hate that person. You don't believe me? You don't think women are better at all that stuff than men? Ask high school teachers, ask them to describe the different ways that boys and girls bully each other. With boys, it's pretty straightforward. It's often just physical. They're like beating each other up, but with women, it's crazy subtle and it's intense. It's a fact. On the whole, women have superior social abilities than men do, and they're more adept at the dark social behavior, the fakery and the lies, which also means that they're much better at spotting it. And so if they catch a man pretending to be something that he's not, they will be absolutely ruthless. Women will sniff that man out and just crush him. I'm not exaggerating when I say that when a woman catches a man who's faking confidence, she feels as though he is personally lying to her. Like it's personal. He is deceiving her, which is why she can be so vicious and savage in response. That false confidence displayed by the man sincerely feels to her as though it is an intensely personal betrayal. She's thinking, I could have slept with you based on that act. I could have had babies with you, and then I'm stuck with your low quality genes. I've risked my one chance to start a family on you. You're just a loser, and you've been faking it the whole time, trying to make me think that you're a decent quality man. That's why women feel so justified being brutal to those guys. I mean, in social situations, women can be absolutely vicious and cruel to these guys who aren't socially adept because they feel like it's a matter of survival. They've got to remind these men of their place. They've got to put them down. Don't you forget it. Don't you dare start trying to trick me. Ugly men who know their place, they're fine. But those guys that are obviously low quality but try and act with some confidence, those are the ones that you need to be absolutely vicious to. I've covered this in previous videos about how women hate ugly men with confidence, and also a really interesting study on how women respond to ugly men. But this is why women are constantly testing men. They need to absolutely make sure that the confidence that they're seeing is real and that you're not just faking it. You don't have these secret pockets of shame that you're scared that anybody might see. And so you can probably guess why at the start of this video, I said that I love money and I love sex and I want power. It's a bit weird, right? Like hearing that, it sounds a little bit strange. It's because we don't really talk about it. Nobody openly admits that kind of thing. It's sort of deemed a bit dark or a bit superficial. Certainly not part of the conversation of polite society. Like you, listening to this right now, how comfortable are you admitting to what you really want? Do you want money? Don't you want like millions of dollars so you can travel wherever you want, buy luxury cars, houses, eat whatever food you want? Do you want that? Are you familiar and intimate with that desire for money? I'm not saying that it's a good idea to pursue money like that. There's actually a lot to be said about dropping out of the rat race and living in a cabin in the woods, but I'm not talking about the realization of wealth accumulation. I'm talking about the impulse. Are you comfortable admitting that impulse that you have inside yourself that wants money? And are you comfortable admitting that to others? And what about sex? Are you comfortable with your own sex drive? Can you admit to yourself how much you want sex? How much you love breasts and butts and women with beautiful faces? Can you admit to yourself how much you love sex and how much you want it? And can you admit it to other people? Or does that make you embarrassed? And now what about power? This one's definitely going to test some men. Do you want power? When you have power, you can make things the way that you want them. Instead of shifting and contorting yourself to always fit in with the world, you have the power to reshape the world to fit you. Don't you want that? Can you acknowledge inside yourself the impulse towards power And can you admit that to other people? I want to reiterate that exploring this, I'm not advocating a life in the pursuit of money, sex, and power. Those things often end up morally compromising the people who seek them. It's a huge moral hazard. So practically speaking, it's often not a sensible choice. But that's not the point of what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the realization of those goals. I'm talking about the impulse, the desire for those things. Money, sex, power. Some people call that the dark side of human desires, like it's evil to want those things, which I think is just stupid. Those things obviously aren't evil. They might be foolish, practically speaking, because, money leads to superficiality, sex leads to, increased STIs and an inability to pair bond eventually. Power, the desire for power leads to corruption. But that's just being realistic about the practical consequences of seeking those things in your lifetime. The impulses themselves aren't evil. Like the desire for money can be absolutely beautiful. Why wouldn't you want to buy nice things for yourself? That's an expression of high self-esteem, of self-love, that you're rewarding yourself. That's a good thing. And what about sex? That's just the desire for a connection with another human being. It's a celebration of life, of biology, of flesh. That's beautiful. And power is not inherently evil. What if you reshaped the world to remove suffering? That's a good thing. Again, the pursuit of power is a huge moral hazard, but what I'm saying is that the impulse is not evil. And so if you feel these things inside yourself, which if you're being honest, you do, what I'm encouraging you is to stop feeling so ashamed about those parts of yourself. Make peace with them. Recognize that they come from a healthy place. Why wouldn't you love money, sex, and power? They're awesome. Those who deny the existence of those desires and have no self-awareness about them are often controlled by those impulses without having any clue that that's what's going on. The most money, greedy, power-hungry people on the planet are probably in complete denial about what their true motives are. You've probably heard this saying, and it's true. If you don't control your desires, they'll end up controlling you. People who have self-awareness about these desires and are fine with them, they've made their peace with who they are, they have a healthy relationship with their own impulses towards those things, they're relaxed, they're fine with who they are. And that's the confidence that women can pick up on and are attracted to. So stop denying who you are and what you want. Just accept it, celebrate it even. You don't want to be in a position where you're ashamed of these parts of yourself, so you repress them, you try and keep them hidden, and then you're hitting on some girl and she suspects that your confidence isn't real, that deep down there's a lot of shame and insecurity inside you, and so she decides to test you. She says something like, "You just love sex, right? You just want to sleep with all the girls there." Then what are you going to do? Be like, "Oh God, she's getting too close to the truth. She's going to find me out. I better deny it." "Oh no, of course not. I don't like sex. No, I'm completely above that sort of thing." She's not going to believe you, and she shouldn't, because you're lying. You're lying to her and you're lying to yourself. The correct response should be, of course, as though it's not even remotely controversial, which it isn't. Of course you love sex. Of course you want money. Of course you want power. Admit it. Make peace with that part of yourself. Get rid of the shame that's attached to those desires, because women can pick up on that shame. The truly confident men that walk this planet, the ones that are absolutely at peace with themselves, are not men who only ever have peaceful thoughts. They have all the desires that we typically label as dark. It's just that they're aware of them. They've made peace with that part of themselves. They accept themselves. It's like violence. I have a capacity for violence. You have a capacity for violence. Don't deny it. Make friends with it. Be intimately aware of the influence that your violent instincts can have on your day-to-day life. And I guarantee when you have self-awareness about that, you're way less likely to actually respond violently. And I want to finish this video by one more time reiterating that I'm not advocating a life where the pursuit of money, sex, and power is at the pinnacle of your list of goals you want to achieve. It is largely a moral hazard. There's lots of things that can go wrong living that kind of life. I'm just talking about the impulses themselves. You have nothing to be ashamed of, so accept yourself. Be at peace with yourself. Women will pick up on the confidence that comes from your self-acceptance. You'll be able to pass any test, anything that she throws at you where she thinks she's going to be able to find some incongruence or some inconsistency. She'll see that you're rock solid, and this is how women's attraction really works. Once she can sense that she's not able to knock you off course, that's when she begins to trust you. That's when she can surrender into your masculinity. Why is Alexander's clothes and hair different for the Patreon video? What's going on? Well, what's going on is YouTube. I'm getting a bunch of demonetization strikes, so I have to be a lot careful, which is why this topic that I wanted to talk about, which is about sexual debt, it's about the mismatch between your sexual desires and your sexual reality, healthy shame, how that influences your self-esteem, self-worth. a very nuanced topic, but I couldn't cover it on YouTube in light of my recent strikes. And so this video is on my Patreon. So that's my latest Patreon video. It's all about that stuff I just talked about before. It's a really good video, all right? So I'm sorry you don't get to see it on the public channel, but please come sign up for my Patreon. It's very affordable. It's just $5 a month. If you pay $5, you get instant access to that video plus every other video in my back catalog. You scroll through it, I guarantee you'll find something that resonates with you, something you want to listen to. Look, we have an amazing community over there. The people seem to love the videos. It's a great way of supporting me, the creator. I don't know. Come join me on Patreon. Yes.